Welcome to Code Black Facts. Thank you guys for tuning in. So I'm going to make this video very quick. I'm just going to jump right into the topic, and that is Black Image Takeover. And stay with me. Let me explain. I think that what is going on right now between Kendrick Lamar and Drake and what we saw during the Super Bowl or after between two black quarterbacks. Well, one of them is mixed, and then the other one is black. But Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes need to be studied. Okay, so these are both male-dominated genres. As you know, sports, football, particularly, is black male-dominated. Everybody knows that. The rap and entertainment, specifically rap industry, is black male dominated. Everybody knows that. But right now and in the past, you had Drake at the top of the game as it relates to the rap industry, and then you had Patrick Mahomes at the top as it relates to black quarterback, right? Both of them are mixed race men. Both of them have black fathers and white mothers. I have to point that out. Just stay with me. Stay with me, please. I have to point that out because that does. I'm going to say this because nobody will say it. But black men and women want to see black men in those top spots. Let me say it again. Black men and women want to see black men in those top spots. In this fight against with Kendrick Lamar, he has been able to garner a lot of support from black people, both men and women. You know, with his symbolism, his lyrics, you know, relating to the black struggle, the black pain. When he did his Super Bowl, one of his biggest performances of, you know, his career thus far was the Super Bowl performance where, you know, he had the symbolisms of the black pain, the black struggle, playing the game, all of that. You guys, black people, we love that. We eat that up because we can connect to that. It means something deep within. But what we fail to realize, guys, is that, you know, naturally, and this is gonna, you know, I'm gonna talk about later in the video about how nature will always show its head. Baby, you can't beat nature with a stick, honey. Nature gonna always come through. No matter how you try to suppress it, it will come through. And I think that that is exactly what's happening. So when people say, oh, well, it's not about skin tone or skin color, it's not about who black or who's not, it ain't about that. If you're non-black, I can see why you said it, because you don't get it, because you just don't get it. So just stay out of the chat. But if you black, I'm gonna say that there is something subconsciously within that you may not even know what's going on because you don't even understand the psychology behind it, right? Nature will always show its head because naturally, innately, we want to see ourselves. We want to see somebody who look like us. We want to see somebody that come from our struggle and our pain be at the top of their game, be the best, you know, be of excellence, be the most, you know, powerful, so on and so forth. It feels good. So let me go ahead and just start jumping into my topics, you guys. I'm going to also talk about the role that black women play, because I'm going to tell you right now, out of all the symbolisms, the black symbolic elements that Kendrick Lamar had in his performance and just throughout his musical career, there was a reason why Serena, and it was a bigger reason. It was a reason why Serena was in his a part of his performance, his Super Bowl performance. All right, because come on, Serena represents a black woman. She is black through and through. And you know, this takeover and pushing Drake out, you're gonna need both black men and black women to be on board for this, because you can't do it without us. And in any movement that has ever happened in the history of movements as it related to black people, baby, black women have always been a major part. Don't ever get that twisted. You may not know all the stories. You may not even, you know, a lot of the ins and outs in the stories have disappeared. People don't really tell them, but black women have always played a major part in any type of movement. Okay, so let's talk about the creators of rap music, right? The creators of rap music did not look like Drake. The creators of rap music did not look like Drake. Okay? They did not. They looked like Kendrick Lamar. Their children look like Kendrick Lamar's children. And so a lot is to be said about that. You know why? Because you have Kendrick Lamar and many like him who want to see their image back at the top. Because for so long, Drake has been at the top of the music charts. He has been, the top rapper. And they want to take that spot. And you know what, again, we got to go back to that nature part that I'm going to talk about a little bit later, more in depth. But baby, part of nature is competition. Part of nature is wanting to take that top spot, compete for it. That's part of nature. And that, I think, in my opinion, is what we're seeing. And when it comes to those who created, I mean, you had what, Grandmaster Flash, you had Run DMC at the beginning. I mean, yeah, Drake, none of them look like Drake. None of them. None of them. No. Those who, like, when you ask people who is the best, yeah, you'll get some people that'll throw in Eminem, but overall, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Lil Wayne, Lauryn Hill, Tupac, Biggie, and the list goes on and on and on. They look like who, y'all? Who do they favor the most? So again, you may not know this, but subconsciously, that's who a lot of people are rooting for. They want to see somebody who look like them, who look like their uncle, their daddy, their cousin, their brother, and then who also has a family that look like that. And this is even more evident because I also added in the picture of the quarterback, the Eagles quarterback, Jalen Hurts, and his fiance. And I'm gonna show you guys some postings that people posted where people were saying, I'm rooting for the real black quarterback. People were saying, I'm rooting for the man with the black family. People were saying, I'm rooting for the man with the black fiance because he's gonna pass down black wealth to his black children. These are things that people were posting and got hundreds and thousands of likes, guys. And I think that we need to also take into consideration the climate. Okay, the climate that we're in right now. We just came out of a presidential campaign with Trump going up against a black woman. Race was all up and through all of that. It was written all over it. Now that Trump is the president, and he's writing up a lot of these executive orders. This is the climate that we're in. So in this racial climate that we are in, that it's always really been there, but being that Trump is the president, it's even more evident now. But we're in a racial climate where race is just constantly at the forefront of many conversations outside of politics. And so we have to factor that into the equation because, I mean, Drake is a mixed race biracial man. Also, flipping back over to the football situation, it doesn't help that Mahomes' family is Trump supporters. So again, you had a bunch of people rooting for Jalen based off of that as well. And when it comes to image, and when it comes to people, wanting to see their image, Drake don't represent that. Not fully. Not as a half white, half black man in the industry of rap. So back to the sports. But yeah, and you can see the elements over there as well. Patrick Mahomes, a biracial man with a white woman. Jalen Hurts, fully black man, black woman. I'm gonna leave it there. Okay, so this brings me to my next key point, and that is the study of human nature, right? Because I mentioned nature. So I want to give you guys a little bit about human nature. So human nature and self-image falls within psychology, philosophy, and sociology, exploring how people perceive themselves and others in relation to their environment. So you have human nature refers to the innate characteristics behaviors, and instincts shared by all humans. Thinkers like Aristotle, Hobbes, and Freud have debated whether humans are naturally good, selfish, or shaped entirely by society. Modern psychology and neuroscience suggest that human behavior results from both genetic and environmental influences. And okay, so and then you have 3 points. And I'm just going to give you these snippets and then we're moving on, guys, to the very last point in this video. So you have different perspectives. You have a biological, a philosophical, and a psychological. So the biological viewpoint is that revolutionary psychology suggests that behaviors like cooperation, competition, and survival instincts are hardwired into us. Biological, that's the biological view. Then you have people who believe the philosophical viewpoint, which is that some argue that humans have a innate moral compass, while others claim morality is socially constructed. And then you have the last viewpoint, which is psychological viewpoint, and it comes from Freud, who proposed that human behavior is driven by unconscious desires, while cognitive psychologists suggest focus on how thoughts shape behavior. All right. So no matter how you look at it, guys, no matter how you twist it, in any way you twist it, human nature, in my opinion, does and will always play a part. Whether you want to admit that or not, whether you know that or not, because there are things subconsciously that go on within us innately, okay? Like competition. So you got an element of competition. Kendrick Lamar going up against Drake, don't think for 1 minute that there is not an element of competition there, because it is in a man's nature. Men, I forget where I read this one time, but men innately have such strong competitive aspects to them, and it's biological. Okay, we all have it. I mean, competition is competition, but it is so strong in men. It's something about the competition. And honestly, I shouldn't have to explain this. If you're a man, you already know this. And women, we know it too. Just look around. So I'm not going to get too much in depth into that. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is black women. Okay, so without black women, y'all, and just think about this. Black women we're going for the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, because he was with a black woman, a woman who looked like them, a brown skinned, pretty woman who looked like them. This woman could be your sister, your cousin, your whomever. And we like to see it. We like to see it. As long as he's treating her right, and he's getting the fame, and he's got the success, we want to see him with a black woman. And that is nature. It's okay. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if he was with a white woman, I mean, black women will be like, okay, he with a white woman, no one cares. But the fact that he with a black woman, because I mean, we just gonna be honest here, we're gonna be honest on this channel, a lot of times they be with non-black women. I mean, Drake, need I say more? Patrick Mahomes, need I say more? I'm just saying, I can go down the list. A lot of times people in entertainment and athletes and rappers, baby, they be with non-black women a lot of times. Now, that first woman, that first baby mama may have been black, but you follow that trail and you'll see at some points that they was with a sister. Okay. And so when we see the dynamic, Jalen is young, him and his girl been together since college. Like, we love to see it. That's just natural. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It has nothing to do with women from other groups. It's just, that's what you like to see, and that's okay. So that's all I have, you guys. I'm gonna leave it right there. Tell me what your thoughts are. Am I, reaching? Am I missing it? Like what? Because that's just my opinion about everything. And like I said, I think it should be studied. This should be studied. Obviously, it's not, but it definitely should be studied, because black people have rallied with Kendrick Lamar against Drake, and they are helping him, you know, they're giving Drake a run for their money to take that spot back. I mean, the spot, the image. You know, Drake is going to be Drake. What he's did in history is going to be there. Nobody's talking about that. But I'm just saying, as of right now, Kendrick is winning. But you guys get down in the comment section and tell me your thoughts.